Hello and welcome to the next round of the TCC IVRC Championship. And today we are in the beautiful, sunny Knutstorp here in Sweden. Max Dwerker will start from pole position today. That much is clear already. The entire grid we will go through after the warm-up when the cars are going to the grid. 7th round is this today. Let's quickly go through the drivers' championship standings. First place, Max Dwerker, after not winning 3 races in a row, after starting off this season with 6 wins in a row. Second, Peter Jones behind him. Third, Christian Alvarez. On 4th, Thomas Raschke. 5th is Dovidas Laurinavicius, who is unfortunately not here today. Then 6th, Philip Streeping, who's coming off of 4 third place positions in a row. 7th in the championship is Charlotte Menning, who won the last race in Belgium, the reverse grid race. 8th is Saulius Laurinavicius, who also unfortunately is not here. SL Racing pulled out after the rest of the championship, unfortunately. 9th is Laszlo Teglas, who is here today. On 10th we have Nahuel Fulgenci. 11th Alejandro Munoz, who left SL Racing after their closing to join a new team for this championship. And to be precise, he joined this team. Tevez Sim Racing. Behind him is Francisco Vasquez, who is here today. 13th position in the championship is Kenneth Ragland, who isn't here today, as well as 14th position Felix Kims. 15th in the championship is Sven Arne Andersen, who has his home race today. 16th, Walter Pried, who hasn't been seen for quite some while now. 17th, Callum Gunn, who also not here today. 18th, Manuel Santino, not here today. 19th, Tobias Kress, who's not here today. And 20th is Redvan Lemati, also not here today. This is a quick track, only roughly a minute. That we have the time to quickly look at the team standings as well. First, Repsol Swinigal Racing, followed by 2012 Motorsport. Third, SL Racing, who pulled out. 4th, Warsteiner Swinigal Racing, the B team of Repsol Swinigal Racing. 5th, Tevez Sim Racing. 6th, Ardmore. 7th, Wildcat. 8th, Team MSB by N-Ring Info. And 9th, Wampel Racing. Warm-up ends in 35 seconds. Thomas Raschke left the game. That could be unfortunate. Really short track here in Knutstorp. This is the pole setter of today, Max Twerker. Again, you could say. Not unusual that he is on pole position in TCC. Really good TCC driver. Well, we wait for the start of the race to happen. And Northern Nisbin has now joined as well, so she will round up the grid today in her, as it appears, purple car. Purple orange. Very beautiful car, I must admit. Charlotte already on the grid. So let's quickly go through the starting grid for this first 20-minute race. First, Max Twerker. Second, Charlotte Minning. Third, Thomas Raschke. Fourth, Nawel Fulgenci. Fifth, Philipp Streeping. Sixth, Laszlo Tegler. Seventh, Peter Jones after a five-place grid penalty. Eighth, Alejandro Munoz. Ninth, Christian Alvarez. 10th, Francesco Vasquez. 11th, Sven Arne Andersen. 12th, Northern Nisbin, who didn't qualify for the race. or who qualified but didn't participate in qualifying, so to speak. And the lights go on, the red lights. And out they are, green flag, and away we go. Good start from Max Strecker, as usual. Charlotte Manning goes behind him to get the drag. Peter Jones appears to have a really good start. Goes up from 7th to, what, 4th position as they all jump here. Unfortunately, that's a little bug. Max Strecker taking the lead in front of Charlotte Manning. 3rd Raschke, 4th Peter Jones, 5th Streeping, 6th Munoz, 7th Fulgenci, 8th Vasquez, 9th Tegler, 10th Alvarez, 11th Anderson, 12th North van Nispen. I'm apologizing for that flipping. Oh, Vasquez on Tegler's touch. Oh, and North van Nispen has hit the wall and has put the car into the box. What has she done? Oh, that's unfortunately, and hits the wall. And what happened to Thomas Raschke? He's now in 11th. Oh, he misses the braking point in turn 1 and goes to the back of the grid. Alvarez, not particularly great race so far here. And now Strecker first. 2nd Manning, 3rd Jones, 4th Streeping, 5th Munoz, 6th Fulgenci, 7th Teglas, 8th Vasquez, 9th Alvarez, 10th Anderson, 11th Thomas Raschke, who now has to come to the pits to repair his car. That's really unfortunate for the young German. Who did the mistake himself. Long standing in the pits. And if he's really unfortunate, he will be lapped now. Yes, there comes the field. Can Thomas Raschke come out in front of the field, or will he be lapped? Charlotte Manning in the meantime with the fastest lap of the race. Let's drive with the young Dutch woman for a minute while she chases down Max Strecker for the 1st position. Thomas Raschke is 11th now with a lap down to the entire field probably. This is a very technical track here in Knutstorp. You drive over the crest, back down the crest, back, sometimes even back up the same crest after a hairpin. Onto the final straight. It appears that Max Strecker has made up some time again. Manning, Jones 3rd, 4th Streeping, 5th Munoz, 6th Fulgenci, 7th Teglas, 8th Vasquez, 9th Alvarez, 10th Anderson, and Raschke 11th, directly behind Anderson, but unfortunately for him a lap down. let's stay with this battle for a second here. Munoz against Fulgenci for 5th position. But there's also a 2012 motorsport battle starting to happening here. Peter Jones goes wide a little bit into that corner. Now in the back stretch of the track. Will Peter Jones attack Charlotte Manning? They already had a little coming together in Turagua at the start of the season. And Charlotte Manning goes wide and Peter Jones takes 2nd position. And now we have the classic battle we've seen what feels like now millions of times in TCC this year. Mark Stwerker against Peter Jones. Or Munoz against Fulgenci as well, a battle now on track. Still, between the two South Americans. And also Teglas against Vasquez there in the background. Oh, and now Charlotte Manning against Philipp Streeping for 3rd position. But this is a real tight and twisty track. Not much opportunity to overtake on this track. Where can Streeping attack? Best opportunity probably is into the first corner where they are now heading into. But it's hard to get next to someone unless you're completely sending the car into turn 1, which will most likely end in contact and tears between one of the parties. The tears, the contact, you always need 2 people for contact. Where can Philipp Streeping attempt the overtake? And back to the start-finish straight. He has probably the best chance. And now he's really on her back. Looks in the inside, but isn't close enough. But Charlotte goes a little bit wide. They're now next to each other. Streeping on the inside. Streeping now in front of her. Now Charlotte again at 3rd. No contact, very fair battling between these two, and Charlotte Manning keeps 3rd position. For now. Oh, Streeping might have bumped her a little bit from the back. Oh! And Fulgenci, we saw it with a mistake. What happened with now Will Fulgenci? Comes back on track in 9th position. What did Fulgenci do? This is the previous lap. is hunting down Munoz here. Oh, went wide, and then there is an invisible wall for some reason. Falls down to 9th position. That's really unfortunate. I suspect Fulgenci will now come to the pits. Will he at least come out in front of Thomas Raschke? Stands now. There comes the leader, Max Twerker, and Peter Jones. He goes off now again, so he's definitely lapped by the leader. But where's Thomas Raschke? Here's Thomas Raschke. He will stay in front of Thomas Raschke. Let's go back to this battle for 3rd position. Standing wheels with everyone into turn 1. And now it will be interesting, because now they have Will Fulgenci in front of them, who is a lap down. How can the back markers make this race potentially interesting? And the IVRC, TCC, you don't have back markers all the time. It's only a 20-minute race, but this track is really short, and if you do a mistake, you have to go to the pits for it, like you seen with Thomas Raschke, and now with Will Fulgenci, you will be a lap down. You will just drive for position in the starting grid, basically, to not DNF, because then you have to start at the back in race 2. But this way Fulgenci would right now start in 2nd position. Thomas Raschke would start in 1st. Where can Philipp Streeping find an opening to do the overtake? Slight touch, and he spins her almost around! She somehow keeps the car on track, and now she has a bigger lead than before. Here in lap 13 of this race. Naturally, today we have a lot more laps than usual. And now also Alejandro Munoz is in the battle for 3rd position a little bit. Tegla's not too far off. If they do that a couple of more times, we will have a spicy battle for 3rd positions. And we know here in TCC, emotions get a little bit high. Everything will be a little bit heated when it's the last couple of laps, when it's for position. But apart from that, there are no real battles for position. Thomas Raschke, who unlaps himself against Vasquez now. And they touch! And Vasquez sends Raschke straight into the tire barrier where he ruined his race in the first place. Things that happen with back markers. He was the faster guy, and now he spins out. And now Philipp Streeping is back at the tail of Charlotte Manning. Oh, Charlotte Manning. A lot of standing wheel, a lot of squeaking tires. Where will Philipp Streeping try to attack? It's really difficult to attack here on this track. There are no real openings to attack. Now we have Teglas and Vasquez who are fairly close to each other as well. We keep an eye on it in the background while we watch these two battling it out for the podium position. Streeping seems to get better through turn 1. Oh, they take this jump here. And here we have Teglas against Vasquez. I expect there might be an overtake on the hands here as well. Oh, and Teglas goes straight! Mistake by Teglas. Vasquez takes advantage of it and takes 6th position. Let's go back to this battle for 3rd position between Charlotte Manning and Philipp Streeping. It's pretty clear that the only chance Streeping really has to get on the podium in this first race is to, stress her into a mistake. And Alvarez is now past Teglas as well. Teglas in the pits. Teglas in the pits. Something has appeared. Does he have damage or are the tires just completely gone? Anderson takes 9th position. 3 race minutes from the... And Teglas goes to the pits and Teglas puts the car into the pits. But while Fulgenci goes over the grass, there come the battle for 3rd position. Let them pass fairly. Still goes over the gravel and over the grass. Now back on track. But slow and also comes to the pits. Thomas Ruschke now takes 9th position essentially. There comes the leader, Max Twerker. Peter Jones still 2nd. Third, Charlotte Manning. Fulgenci stands there quite a long time. Let's go back through the battling here. 3rd position between Charlotte Manning and Philipp Streeping. Munoz is not too far off. Roughly a minute left in this race. Oh, and there comes this surprise attack. He attacks her and doesn't get past and loses more time than anything. Now Alejandro Munoz is in the back of Philipp Streeping. Don't count out Alejandro Munoz in his new car. After the resigning of SL Racing. Fulgenci appears to have been going again. Here he is. Oh, and there went someone wide. That's Charlotte Manning. She goes back to 1st position. What did she do? Oh, she misses her braking point and falls down to 5th position, gifting Philipp Streeping the 3rd position. the time is over. Max Twerker wins this race. Second, Peter Jones. Unfortunately, we missed him crossing the line. Third place in the end will go to Philip Streeping after a mistake by Charlotte Manning in the last round. Fourth will be Alejandro Munoz. Fifth, Charlotte Manning. She loses 2 positions in the last lap mistake. Sixth place, Francisco Vasquez. Seventh place, Christian Alvarez. 8th place, Sven Arne Andersen. He just drove a race. 9th place, Thomas Roschke. It seems close, but Thomas Roschke is a lap down. And 10th place, Nawel Fulgenci will start the reverse grid race from pole. 11th, Laszlo Teglas. 12th, Noor van Nispen, who put the car in the pits after 1 lap already. But this man is the winner. Max Strecker back in victory lane after a little drought of 3 races, where he could only finish second. Wins a race finally again, and will be shortly here in the interview booth. Yeah, and we're waiting him.
User joined your channel.
And I am here with the winner of the first race here in Knutstorp. Max Strecker, finally back in victory lane after a 3-race drought almost, where you could only finish second. This appeared to be a pretty good Sunday drive for you today, so far.
Well, yeah, it worked out quite fine. I'm happy.
Yeah, first position. There's not really a lot to talk about. You got your typical good getaway. And then just drove off. Like Charlotte, I think, pushed you like for a lap, where she drove the fastest lap of the race, I think. But then had to drop back, and you just managed the race and won it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. It was a tough one from the beginning. No space for mistakes, and yeah, I just drove my pace till the end. I feared a little bit when Peter got into second. He got early into second. I feared that he might have the pace to attack me, at least throughout the last few laps, when my tires would nearly blow up. But tires were actually pretty fine till the end, so yeah, worked out. And another win, another day in victory lane, and we'll see how that works out in the second race.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not much to say now. I'll wish you good luck for the second race, I guess.
Thank you very much. See you.
See you.
User left your channel.
green.
Sorry, we had technical difficulties with the microphone. Sorry if you weren't able to hear us. I hope it's better now again. I apologize for the slight technical difficulties. Peter Jones second, Mark Stwerker's third. And they're really close to each other. While Thomas Ruschke appears to have opened up a gap big enough to potentially win this race if he doesn't make a mistake. Squeaking tires as usual in this corner. Peter Jones against Mark Stwerker. For the second place in this race. Will Mark Stwerker attempt an attack? Or will he try to hunt him into a mistake for this second position? They are now running into back markers, in this case Noor van Nispen. He now goes off the track, comes back on track. This is getting tricky, goes back off track. I don't think she has stood too much in the way of these two. Oh, Max Stwerker is looking for an opening. Back on the straight, on the outside, does Stwerker try it? They touch slightly, no avail. I'm sorry, I can't figure out the mistake, the problem we are having here. But Peter Jones still second in front of Mark Stwerker. It's the battle for second position. And again, Stwerker with slipstream going down the main straight. Again, has to try it on the outside. Jones tries to cover the inside, has a slide, and now the switchback next to each other, and Mark Stwerker takes second position temporarily, but now in the next corner Peter Jones potentially has the inside if he can keep it next to him. No, Mark Stwerker takes second position. Great maneuver from the German. How will the Brit respond? On the outside, no. Streeping in the meanwhile has overtaken Christian Alvarez, his teammate. Peter Jones looking aggressively for an opening against Mark Stricker. Potentially now on the straight again. But Mark Stricker has now more of a buffer between him and Peter Jones than Peter Jones had between himself and Mark the lap earlier. Let's quickly go through the order. First, Thomas Raschke. Second, Mark Stricker. Third, Peter Jones. Fourth, Charlotte Manning. Fifth, Alejandro Munoz. Sixth, Francisco Vasquez. Seventh, Nahuel Fulginci. Eighth, Philipp Streeping. Ninth, Christian Alvarez, who appears to have problems. 10th, Noor van Nispen, who's a lap down. Oh, now the attack comes from Peter Jones in the inside. Now Stricker has the inside line and keeps the second position. Another attack on the inside. Back onto the straight. Is he close enough to try an attack? I don't think so. I think that's not close enough. And now we go into the twisty part of the track. We're just getting next to someone is difficult. You have to be next to him going through the first corner to have a chance to overtake anywhere here. Unless Peter can try to do a surprise attack at Mark Stricker. Mark Stricker still second, and again quite the gap between him and Peter Jones. While Nahuel Fulgenci is now past Francesco Vasquez for 6th position, and now does a mistake potentially. Vasquez can he profit off of it? Not really. The two Argentinian warriors here on track. Let's stay with these two for a little bit in their battle for 6th position, as I believe Mark Stricker has now pulled a gap sufficient enough to keep 2nd. Oh, Vasquez goes wide. Oh, not Vasquez, Fulgenci, I mean. And again, and there, Vasquez is looking for it. Where can he launch the attack? Into turn 1? I don't think so, unless Fulgenci goes wide, and he does go wide. And there comes Vasquez. And goes past, and Fulgenci hits the wall. Fulgenci spins out. Streeping goes past him as well. And he takes the car into the pits. And here's the battle for 2nd place. Stricker now has opened up a gap. Can Streeping now close down the gap to Vasquez? That will be interesting. Potentially. Let's go through the order. First, Thomas Raschke still. 2nd, Mark Stricker. 3rd, Peter Jones. 4th, Charlotte Manning. 5th, Alejandro Munoz. 6th, Francisco Vasquez. 7th, Philipp Streeping. 8th, Christian Alvarez. 9th, still Nahuel Fulgenci, but I don't think for quite long anymore, because Noor van Nispen will take over 9th position once she gets over the start-finish straight. Or not even that. Well, she goes wide. Let's just stay here for a little bit. Let's give her, like, a little bit of a moment. Well, there comes the leader, Thomas Ruschke. And now Northern Nispen is 9th. No battles on track at the moment. So let's drive a little bit with the leader, Thomas Ruschke. 4 minutes left for him to bring this race home. Can he win his first race of the season for the Ardmore team? What is his time? 1:164. What does Mark Strecker drive? 1:103, so 6/10 faster. I think with my Scudery it won't be enough for Mark Strecker to catch up. There's a yellow flag somewhere. Oh, and there's Stens Northern Nispen. I thought for a moment that was Thomas Ruschke. My bad. Streeping in the meanwhile has now caught up to Francesco Vasquez. Battle for 6th position might be on now for the last 3 minutes. Philipp Streeping really unlucky with that accident with Alvarez in, like, I think the second lap it was, not the first immediately. And had to regain positions from there. Can he now regain 6th position at least? I think that is well more than damage limitation for him. Through this bumpy and curvy roller coaster of a Swedish track we're driving here. Vasquez goes so hard through the last corner, and I think Philipp Streeping has more speed coming out of the corner better. Looks for the inside line into turn 1, can't attack quite, and Vasquez stays in front of him for probably another lap. Unless Vasquez does a mistake, goes wide here quite a lot. But Streeping not close enough to launch an attack. The really twisty part of this track. Hairpin after hairpin here. 1.5 minutes left in this race. And again, Philipp Streeping with the better exit out of the last corner. And now he has the inside line for an attack against Vasquez. Can he take it? Who breaks later? Oh, Vasquez keeps 6th position. 1 minute left. Whoa, that's roughly 1 more lap, 2 more laps for these two probably. Can Philipp Streeping take 6th position in the end? They are now heading down to the start-finish straight now. Oh, Streeping this time also not with a very good exit out of that corner. Oh, I think that was his last chance and he doesn't take it. Really unfortunate. But the time is up. Let's go to the leader, Thomas Ruschke, who will take, as it appears, his first win of the season. the last two real corners. One more corner. Accelerating. And Thomas Ruschke for Ardmore wins the second race in Knutstorp. Max Twerker, after a difficult race, gets second. Third, Peter Jones. Fourth will probably Charlotte Manning. Yes, fifth, Alejandro Munoz. And now we go through the battle for 6th position, and Vasquez will keep 6th position in front of Philipp Streeping. Alvarez will finish in 8th. What is Alvarez doing now? Goes over the line now. Well, there's a car park here. Really odd. 9th position, North van Nispen. Out of the race, Fulgenci and Anderson. But this man is the race winner. And it appears they are helping him now across the track. There was an incident. No. That could be problematic now for Thomas Ruschke. He could lose the win due to that, because in the rules there is clearly the statement that you have to come back to the pits. We await him regardless in victory lane, as he is counted as the winner for now.
User joined your channel.
And we are here with the, let's say, provisional winner, Thomas Ruschke. Thomas, hello. That was a good race, the second race, don't you think?
I think I led every lap there.
Yeah, exactly. Quite good.
Yeah, it was definitely a performance I'll remember in the future. That was some good driving from me. Actually, I have to say that as well.
Yeah. The only real point of trouble, I think, was a little bit the start. You had a little battle from the line with Nawil Fulgenci. But I think everything was more or less very fair in that battle, right? I didn't see anything unfair, really.
It was hard for sure, and now looking back, maybe I would have been a bit easier on him, but I knew I had to get in front to have a chance for winning, and I didn't know that Peter and Mark would be fighting like this and stuff, so it's a bit hard, but I think the admins will rule it if something gets charged against me.
A really good turnaround after the first race where you were really unlucky. I think you crashed after the first lap into turn 1, had to drive back to the pits, and were down immediately 1 lap. Were you expecting, such a good drive in the second race after the... I think some people would be a bit demoralized after that first race.
I knew that I had the pace, and when I was going alone, I was going, I think, like 3 times or something slower than the leaders in the first race. So I knew that with the pole position I get from, or the second place or whatever it was, from the reverse grid procedure, I'd have a chance to win. And usually I finish the races that I start anyway, so...
And obviously we have to talk about what happened when you crossed the line.
You mean that crash?
Yes, I mean that's crash.
Yeah, I was excited for the win, and I was like, I wasn't really holding my steering wheel, and then the car just drove into the wall. But as I don't know if it can be seen on screen, but there you can drive through the wall onto the pit entry thing. So I lost my tire through a clipping failure thing. So I should be fine there.
You think that won't have any repercussions because in the rules it stands that you have to drive the car normally back to the pits.
Yeah, it was a clipping failure as far as I know.
Okay.
So,
regardless, for now you're the winner of the race.
yes.
I don't want to interrupt your parties you might or might not have planned with your team, as this win might have come quite surprising for you. I wish you good evening, and I guess I see you in 3 weeks on the Nürburgring Nordschleife.
Sure.
Then
Thanks for having me.
Have a good evening.
User left your channel.
And everyone watching also, please have a good evening. Until then, goodbye. We see each other in 3 weeks when it's a 1 hour race on the Nürburgring.